Hi guys, Selena Walker here, naturopath and nutritionist, living deep in nature here at Ysbryd y Coed. And today I wanted to chat to you about sprouting, because some of you contacted me and said that you want to grow your own food, but you don't feel like you have the space. So sprouting is the perfect thing that you can do. You need enough space for a jar, and that's it, and you can sprout your own seeds. Now there's no earth involved, but in every seed there is all the nutrients that a plant needs to mature. So if you are eating the sprouts, then you are consuming the nutrients for that plant. So they are full of nutrients, absolutely brimming through the roof with all the good stuff. And they are live, so it will give you that delicious life going into you as you eat it. So I wanted to explain how you can make it, and I've got 3 different examples here. So you can buy sprouting jars. So a sprouting jar is just where it's got some holes at the top and how would you describe that? An angled edge so you can stand it up. You can simply just get a jar and put some muslin over the top with elastic band. Now the other option I've got here is my sprouting tray. So if you get really into it, you can get a sprouting tray and it has holes so the water can go through it and simply gather in the bottom tray for you to empty. Now the other option is if you want to do large amounts but you don't want to invest in any equipment, you can simply have a mixing bowl with a sieve on top, and the seeds will sit in the sieve and all the water will go through the bottom. So basically with sprouting, what you're looking at doing is activating the seed by hydrating it, and then you want to leave it to grow its tail. That's the easiest way of describing it. Once it's started to grow its tail, you've got your sprouts, and you can sprout all kinds of things, most legumes, seeds. Some of the seeds that are more gelatinous, kind of mucilaginous texture on the outside, like chia and flax, can be very difficult. So I would just go for something really simple if you're getting started. And you can even buy, like what I've got here in this jar, a sprouting mix. This is from Essential Trading, and it's got, let's have a look, it's got lentils, mung beans, sunflower seeds, some chickpeas. And the great thing about that is all of those take the same amount of time to sprout, because different seeds and different beans will sprout in different amounts of time. Now another great one is one of my favourites, alfalfa seed. So that's another great one to get hold of. So I always have some alfalfa that I do on its own as well. So to simply get started, I've got some water in my jar, and all I'm going to do is I am going to put 4 tablespoons of seeds in my jar. So this is my sprouting mixture. So I'll get a variety of different textures and nutrients. Simple as that. And I will leave it sit overnight so they are nice and hydrated. And I will show you what comes next after that. Hey guys, so we're back. The seeds have been soaking overnight. Now you can get so many different complicated soaking charts for different times for different seeds. Life's too short for that. I just soak them all the same. I leave them overnight. And the first time you soak them, you might find that the water's gone a bit cloudy. And if you're using one of these sprouting jars, you can simply just empty it out because of the holes in the jar. So I would just simply empty it out, giving it a good shake. And the beauty about these jars is because they can sit on an angle, the seed is not sitting in water, and this is key. You never want the seed to be sat in water or it will go mouldy. And that is vital because you don't want any bacteria to start growing in there. So it's even better, you know, if you can spread the seed out a bit and leave it like that. Some people say don't leave it in direct sunlight. I just leave it wherever I can, to be honest. In our caravan, we live in a very small space, but I try not to leave it in front of a window, but I leave it where there's sunlight. And then simply twice a day then, all I would do is I would open the lid, just give it a shake to make sure there's no seeds there. I would then pour water in. And the idea is twice a day you're giving it a wash. So just give it a swill around, and you don't need to leave it. You can just simply empty it straight out. The joy of those holes. And then you simply put it back for it to drip dry. Remembering it's best if you give it a wiggle so the seed is nice and spread out. Now, as I said earlier, you don't have to buy one of those fancy sprouting jars. You can do the same with a simple jar with muslin around it. I find coconut oil jars are good because they're the right size. And you could set up some contraption to get it on an angle. At home, I quite often leave it on the draining board as well, because then it drains away, because otherwise you do want to put some kind of cloth underneath. Otherwise you could end up with quite a few drippers. And if you're using the method that I showed you in the last video, in the last part of the video I talked about how you could have a sieve on top of a mixing bowl. Then again, you just want to make sure that that sieve isn't sitting in the water, that the sieve is high enough in the mixing bowl, not for it to touch the water. And the seed trays that I showed you earlier, then again, the bottom tray is where the water gathers. So you just want to empty the bottom tray and not leave water sat there for days. But it's as simple as that. You put the seed in, you leave it soak in water overnight, and then twice a day you just put the water in, rinse it round, empty it out, give the seeds a wash twice a day, leave them on an angle so they're not sat in water, and you do that until tails start to form. So I'll see you in a couple of days once the tails have started to form, so I can show you what that looks like. Happy sprouting for now. And here they are. I've been sprouting these for 3 days, and I'm just going to pour them out to show you my amazing sprouts. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you these close to the camera. Can you see them? Now I've let these go a bit longer, so these are 3-day sprout, and the reason I've done that is because you can see they've got the little green leaves coming at the end. And the advantage of doing that, so leaving them that extra bit longer and giving them a bit of sun so the leaf starts to come, is it adds some extra chlorophyll into the sprouts. So remember, the main thing to remember when you are making sprouts is to make sure the jar's on a slant, just giving you a bit of an example there, and making sure that the sprouts aren't left soaking in water. They should always be rinsed and it should drip away to ensure that the sprouts don't go mouldy. If there's any sign of mould, don't eat them. They should look as fresh as this and have those delicious sprouted ends, and also, if you want the added chlorophyll, the little green bits at the end. You can eat them as soon as they start showing the tails. So I'll be adding these to stir fries at the end, to soups and to salads. I hope this has inspired you to get sprouting. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to click subscribe to my YouTube channel. Head on over to my website selinawalker.earth and sign up to my free newsletter. I look forward to seeing you in the next video and sharing hints and tips on how you can live a delicious life. I'm off to enjoy these yummy sprouts.